whatever day it is.
Tuesday,
Morning.
Friday.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. That's what I was really doing.
Wow.
That's what I was really doing. I was just bringing back some old school songs for you guys. Yeah, I screwed that up, Dale.
Wow. Must have had a good night last night. You're happy? Or got a smile?
Man, Diamondbacks played during the day, and I did nothing last night.
Yeah.
Like, you can ask Ethan, nothing. I was even like, you're on your own for dinner. I don't even care about that.
Did you lose in college football to your son?
No, I didn't buy it. We forgot to go buy it.
You forgot.
Yeah. Well, I said I forgot.
Yeah.
As I drove by it really
Okay.
quick. Let's try it again here. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum. Of course, you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. And I know he went home yesterday and donned the old pads, the old jersey. He was doing reps in his house because training camp is here, folks. Dale Hellestrae's here.
Yeah, I'm gonna do reps just like the NFL teams do now. I'm gonna run around in my pajamas and
I don't know what you're talking about. I saw Carson Beck throw a beautiful ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. yesterday.
Oh, here we go.
At Super Bowl, here we come, baby.
Wow.
Nice dart down the sideline, touchdown.
Hold on, were they practicing yesterday?
Yeah, I guess they went out on the field. I saw somebody posted a video and said it was yesterday. I don't know.
Oh, okay, because I thought they would start practice today.
That's what I was always told. But I don't know if it was from yesterday. Like I said, folks, after the Diamondbacks game ended, I did not pay attention to anything except for the Miles Bridges press conference.
Okay.
I did pay attention to that afterwards. Other than that, didn't watch a darn thing down. Just a relaxation day. This is our last week of our 4-day-a-week schedule. Next week, we go back to 5 days here, of course. So, just enjoying my last few semblance of my summer. It's like I'm going to high school again. Like my senior year's coming up. I gotta enjoy this as much as possible.
Yeah, we're going back to full time. Huh?
Yeah, full time.
Okay.
It's like, our boss is a slave driver, man.
You're not very nice.
Seriously, we need to poison him or something. Get that problem to solve. But Dale, how was your evening yesterday?
About like yours. Not a whole lot. Grabbed a basketball practice.
Ooh, that's right. He's in the middle of his summer basketball
Summer
program.
basketball at the Y. Brought back memories for Hillary and when Kendall came to watch him play, because that's where they started back when they were
same Y?
Same Y. It's been
And
remodeled.
that is weird when you do that.
Yeah, it's been remodeled. But so took her to basketball practice. You know who else has a kid there?
You told me before. I don't know if it was on air or not.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think it matters.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I don't remember if it was
Your
on
boy
air
Zach Ertz.
That's right. It was Ertz, yeah.
Yeah.
Julie Ertz. Because we were talking about Julie, and you said, I saw Zach.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's getting ready for a training camp right now. So,
Well, let me ask you this. Does he look like he stopped lifting?
No.
Or does it mean he's eating a lot of hamburgers?
Does not look like he stopped lifting.
Is he still big?
Yeah.
Like still muscular?
Yeah. It looks like if somebody called him today, he could probably
Really?
fly out tomorrow.
Okay, that's what I was going to, because you know that. Yeah, you know that, especially cornerbacks and receivers. They stop running and working out, and then they just keep eating the thousands of calories, and then you look at him, you're like, whoa, you were a receiver? That's what was so good. He's staying in shape, ready to go. But well, he got injured last year, right? Like, I don't think he wanted to leave the game. I think
didn't he hurt his knee?
That's what I was gonna say. He got hurt, so maybe he's staying in shape because maybe he thinks that we could pick him up later on in the year.
Possibly.
Yeah. Zach Ertz.
Maybe miss a little training camp.
That's it, right? I don't think he's officially retired.
No, I don't. I've not read anything about.
But I mean, in the NFL, you just eventually just stop getting calls, or you get calls and you're like, I'm not playing for the Browns. I gotta laugh about that. Sorry, Browns. It does say that he's part of the Washington Commanders.
Huh.
That's what he's currently. Let me look it up here.
Yeah.
Did you see him yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, well, training camp for them doesn't start till next week, so maybe he'll go and maybe he's going to training camp. Yeah, it says he's still with the Commanders.
Okay.
That's why I couldn't remember. I didn't read that he was gone, but he's on that right here. 20 Washington Commanders training camp preview, and it flat out says the stat. How does mentioned Zach Ertz right there and how he's coming into camp.
Okay. Well,
So-
you know what? The season ends on Saturday, so
The basketball tournament?
he's got a kid that's a little bit younger than my grandson. So.
Well, then again, I look at the 53-man roster projection for the Commanders, and he's not on it. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I mean, he's been around for a long time.
He has. And to come back from a knee that late in your career.
And he's had a couple of them, too, late. Like, he's had serious injuries at least I remember when he left the Cardinals. I went to go back to the Eagles and had, I believe, a serious injury there and stuff. So, there you go. Zach Ertz, Dale Hobnobbinitz up there at the Y. Good for you. Oh, we did not. We stopped at Del Taco for lunch on the way home yesterday after we did the pit stop. By the way, pit stop's up. Yeah. So I was like, what are we going to I just want a quick snack for a late lunch because we did the pit stop yesterday. We didn't get out of here till like 2:00. So I'm like, I need a quick snack because I was hungry, but I don't want anything heavy so I can eat dinner, whatever. So I recommended Del Taco. Then I started thinking about the lettuce situation. And I was like, ooh. But I was like, you know what? I get tostadas from Del Taco. They're fantastic. But I order them without lettuce anyway. Because I don't like the white crunchy. I hate that crappy lettuce. So I ordered them without them anyway. Dale, we went in there. We ordered it. And so then I started thinking about the lettuce. And then I was like, you know what? Why don't we go to Chipotle instead? And Ethan's like, and he's looking at the menu. So he's never been to Del Taco. I mean, what kind of parent am I?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's just stupidity. I lived off Del Tacos. Every time we crossed the border into California, because Del Tacos weren't in Arizona, man, we'd be stopping at the first Del Taco that you could see right there, like a planned part of the trip. I have failed my kids, is what I'm telling you right now. But I digress here.
Okay.
So he looks at the menu and he like finds something and he really wants it. So I couldn't get him off of Del Taco. So I'm like, all right, let's go. Yeah, I go in there and I order my tostadas. 2 tostadas, please. And I go, no lettuce. And as soon as I said no lettuce, I got like all insecure and stuff. And so then I'm like, I trust your lettuce. I don't order it with lettuce regular. I'm like explaining why I'm ordering it without lettuce. I got all self-conscious about not ordering lettuce. And so I'm explaining to this girl, oh no, I always order without lettuce. It has nothing to do with your lettuce. She's just looking at me like, all right, dude, whatever. She actually kind of smiled a little bit because I'm sure they're getting a lot of questions and no lettuce and stuff like that. But I mean, I got self-conscious, man. I ordered it without lettuce.
Well, it's not their fault.
No, not at all. I don't. It was just like kind of wuss am I that I'm not ordering lettuce. Well, I never do. I hate your lettuce. I hate your lettuce in general. But it was funny. I got all self-conscious.
No. My stomach's tough enough.
I was like, I'm sure your lettuce is good.
That is funny.
It was just weird, man. I don't know why I went through that, but I went through that, folks. It was interesting. So anyway, that was my day. Then I went home and we didn't leave again. I forgot to plug the car in last night.
Oh, again.
That's how out of it I was, because I don't plug it in right when I get home because the cooling of the battery things and it just sucks energy to do all that. So I usually let it cool down for a bit and then I'll go back out and plug it in. Yeah, that tells you, Dale. I didn't do anything, man. Didn't even go down. Didn't even think about it. Didn't even take my stuff out of my bag last night. Didn't even turn the TV on last night.
So you didn't get prepared for the show?
No, I did. I watched the Miles Bridges thing.
Oh, you did?
And I did the lazy thing instead of recording the press conference like I normally do. I just went to Twitter and found videos that the things I wanted to get from it.
Okay.
I just found that other people posted. I did the lazy thing yesterday. I'll just tell you guys, I was lazy yesterday as well from that side. So Dale, let's get into it because of course you take off here early today. Now Uncle Lou comes in and everything. So you got to go over and see the big guy trying to punish the billion-dollar conglomerate here today. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to hear about this whole Broncos story.
You think he's going to redo the whole thing in front of you?
I don't know if we'll do it on air.
It's different than mine that you got to hear at this show. It's similar. I mean, there's differences, but overall, it's very, very similar to how they operate. Yeah.
They're saying don't get your car in an accident.
What I'm saying is F State Farm.
I thought it was Joe at Collision Auto.
Well, him too. Dale, there's a list.
There is a list.
There's a list.
Do you ever take anybody off the list?
No.
Once you're on, you're on.
Well, no, because that's who you are. It's not a one. They treat everybody like that. That's my point.
Okay.
But the reason why I put them on a list and the reason I talk about it is because, like, I can deal with it. Just think about it with that collision place. I have the time to deal with that stuff. Most people don't.
Right.
You know, we're lucky enough, Dale. We don't sit here, 9 to 5 or work 60-hour weeks here doing. So I got the time to deal with it and laugh at that type of stuff. Same thing with State Farm. Wells Fargo back in the day with that mortgage problem that I had with them. And I was telling them they were screwing up and they just kept telling me I was wrong. And they were sending me 70 pages dictating how I'm wrong on how I do it. I'm still getting checks from State Farm saying, "Oh, we calculated this wrong. Oh, we calculated this wrong. Here's the money we should owe you." My mortgage hasn't been with Wells Fargo in like 3 years, and I'm still getting checks to this day. But they just gaslit me the whole time, telling me how wrong I was and all that. And it's just like I could have, and I had time to fight with them, right? I had time to go through it with them. Just the people would be getting screwed today, So I just let people know what you're dealing with out there. Then make your own decision. Want to start with good news or bad news?
Well, as long as we get to the good news.
Jacoby Brissett did report to training camp yesterday. Didn't do anything. Not going to do anything till his contract's there, but he did show up. So that question mark is gone. So there's your update on Jacoby Watch. He reported.
Okay.
Showed up.
So now the next thing is going to be, does he practice?
He's not going to.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not going to until he gets a deal. He'd be stupid to. You lose all leverage if you go practice. And, then you got the teams probably going, we'd be more willing to give you that money you want if you go practice right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. They'll give it to me then, and then I'll walk out on that field. So he's not going to take the fines, is like we talked about yesterday out there as well. But the Cardinals, and I found something out interesting this morning. I looked it up yesterday. I double-checked it this morning. Yesterday, the Cardinals and Carson Beck agreed to terms. So it's a 4-year, $7.4 million contract. Now, we don't know why it took so long to sign him, but I found something out NFL-wide yesterday that tells me there's something going on with the quarterback position in draft picks, meaning it's slotted money-wise, but they're negotiating other things. And I'll talk about that in a second. But they do get Carson Beck signed yesterday. As well, the Arizona Cardinals do. So at least he gets it.
Well, explain to the people, in case they don't know, the fact that it used to be you're negotiating and you're, hey, you could get another $50,000 here, 25 here. Nowadays, every pick has a number to it.
Yeah. So, and I'm just going to throw out numbers. So, the number one draft pick is slotted, meaning this is how much you can make.
I think you'll get like $35 million.
And it's a 4-year deal with a 5th-year option.
Right.
It's written in stone.
Yes.
So you're negotiating side things.
Because in the olden days, that's when those number one picks got so much money and they're arguing over signing bonus and blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
You don't do that
those are gone now. Those are gone. You're arguing over, I suspect they're arguing over the 5th-year option is what I suspect is happening. The team wants one, the player doesn't. So they want to get into their second contract.
Right.
So I suspect it's probably something like that they're arguing over, right, and stuff. But Carson Beck gets in. We don't know yet. We'll have to find out. Maybe we don't. But 4 years, $7.4 million, right in line with what his slotted amount is. So they were negotiating something else. So the Cardinals bring him in. So good news, I'm going to say, on both fronts for the Cardinals. I know the Jacoby situation isn't all good news, but he showed up to camp.
Right.
That's a big deal, for him coming back and getting his contract and stuff to that effect. So I'm going to count that good for yesterday, even though it's still bad. But then I'm sitting there yesterday and I'm going, who's left unsigned around the NFL? By the way, the Cardinals placed Caleb Proctor, their draft pick that got hurt, They placed him on IR, and they signed Keziah Izzard onto the line. He's probably just a camp body. But their young guy, well, they said he's going to miss a lot of season. He got hurt. Can't remember. Wasn't it a meniscus or something? It was something like that. They said possible all year, but they hope to get him back. Well, he's on the IR now. So that tells me he's probably done for the season.
Right.
For that young kid. Again, another defensive lineman draft pick injured before training camp. Stop drafting defensive linemen. Not for any other reason than it's unfair to their careers when you draft them, Cardinals, because they come in hurt. Give the guys a fighting chance to make the NFL, right? But I looked it up. 4 unsigned draft picks from this year's 2026 NFL draft. 4. Now that Carson Beck is signed, is one of the last ones out there.
Right.
As of this morning, now I haven't checked in the last 30 minutes or an hour, so I'm not sure. Now they have some time because nobody else is reporting until next week. So they still have some time.
Correct.
But I find this fascinating. 3 of the 4 are quarterback draft picks, unsigned. And Carson Beck was yesterday. So there was 5 yesterday. 4 of them were QBs. Now there's 3 QBs on that list, including Fernando Mendoza, the number 1 draft pick, unsigned by the Raiders. Ty Simpson, 13th pick. I think it was 13th for the Rams, unsigned. Drew Allar for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was, I think, 3rd round, if I remember right, but 3rd round.
Okay.
But he's a quarterback, unsigned as well. Carson Beck yesterday unsigned. What's going on with this quarterback position and that they can't sign their guys who are slotted into positions?
Because it used to be quarterbacks would get more money. If you were the 15th pick in the draft and you were an offensive guard, you got less money than the quarterback who was drafted 15th.
Okay.
But now you're slotted, so I don't understand what you'd be arguing about.
Especially Mendoza.
Well, I wonder if the Raiders are, because you have to give them, a pretty sizable signing bonus.
And they don't have the money.
Do they want to wait till
But
the very end?
so I thought about that where it's like, okay, he's just going to be a late signee because the Raiders, have to come up with that money to put it into escrow and all that stuff. So I thought about that. So I looked it up yesterday. No, they're openly negotiating still to this day.
Really?
That's what I was reading yesterday from a couple of people that follow the Raiders.
Huh.
There's not a deal in place yet. Yeah, isn't that weird?
That does not make a whole lot of sense.
I don't get it. So I don't know. Maybe we'll find out what's happening with these. Let me type this in here. Why are NFL draft pick? Let's see what the AI says. QB's not signed. Sorry, I should talk while I'm doing this here. Let's see what AI says. Complex negotiations over signing bonus cash flow schedules. So it's not the signing bonus, it's when you get paid your signing bonus.
Right.
So, and I could see the Raiders doing that. Okay, we owe you, let's say, $20 million in a signing bonus. Or of your dollar amount, here's your 20-minute signing. And then they're like, we'll pay you $100,000 a year for the next 20 years. So the schedule can be done on that. But I do think something you can negotiate, even though the money's slotted, I do believe guaranteed money is not slotted. So like Carson Beck's due $7.4 million, 4 years, $7.4 million. How much of that is guaranteed? I think you can still negotiate.
Most likely, but I know that now there's a difference also between first round and all the other rounds.
Yes,
because first round your entire contract is guaranteed.
Yeah, so what was it last year? The year before? The whole thing's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Last year or the year before, second rounders started asking for guaranteed money, and that was why they would hold out. So that's what I mean. You're arguing something like that, and so quarterbacks have figured out, that hey, we're slotted at these spots, but let's get all this other stuff on there. But I just found that interesting. Because we knocked the Cardinals for not signing quarterbacks, but apparently it's a league-wide thing as well.
Okay.
Also, they say offset language is something that a lot of guys, meaning if you get cut,
Right.
And you sign elsewhere, how much you don't want offset language because you want to be paid by your current team that cuts you and the new team.
Yeah.
But the offset language is what they talked about as well. So I don't know, we'll see. I just found that an interesting side note out there. But isn't that fascinating? All the teams, the Rams aren't terrible, but just quarterbacks.
Interesting.
Quarterbacks. But Jacoby Brissett showed up. Carson Beck signed. Cardinals to the Super Bowl. Is that a new mantra?
Well, it's still fascinating what's going to go on with the Cardinals. And by the way, to add to the intrigue of your Arizona Cardinals, Steve, Pro Football Focus says the Cardinals have the toughest strength of schedule. A lot of that's because of the division they play in.
But it's not all that, too. You still, like I said, you got to face the Lions, who finished 4th place last year. And I've been looking a lot of NFL North. Lions are expected to be winning that division this year or 2nd place in that division this year. Like bounce back year for them.
Right.
And you get them because they finished 4th last year. But the division obviously is the bigger side of that. But no, their first 12 games are against playoff caliber teams. I won't say Super Bowl caliber, but playoff caliber teams. That means they're pretty good, Dale. That means they're pretty good. So there's your camp update. We'll keep our eyes on that, of course. We'll see what happens over the weekend as well. Then, of course, my favorite part of this time of year is when guys that aren't professional athletes, they're YouTubers. They take up boxing late in life. And they go and they get interviewed and they go, oh, I've had NFL teams contact me to come in and play for them. There's a lot of bad guys in the NFL, and I could step right in and be better than them.
Is that what you're talking about?
Jake Paul claims NFL teams want him as a wide receiver.
Wow.
He's openly saying this.
Wow.
There's a lot of bad wide receivers out there. I could step in and be better than half the league. My God, please make it happen. Somebody sign this MFer now. Somebody sign him right now. Now, if he was a D1 college player saying that, I'd be like, all right, that guy's probably got the skills to step in and be decent. But when you haven't played football at that level, at a D1 level, it's folks. I don't care how you're not even getting off the line.
No,
it's a joke. But this is the stupidest time of year when somebody pops off about like LeBron all the time. I could play tight end in the NFL. Okay, buddy, you get touched in the NBA and you flop and cry. So my favorite time of the year there as well, Dale, as we deal with that. Now we gotta go. Your Phoenix Suns.
Oh.
Did you see any of the Miles Bridges press conference?
I did not.
Okay. I'm going to set the stage for you guys. A lot of times when controversy is hitting teams, professional sports teams, they either go into the press conference and they say no questions about X, no questions about this, no, stuff like that. The Suns showed up, and right off the bat, Gregory's sitting there, the GM, and he says, and he gets on there and he addresses it right out of the bat, which you don't see teams do very often. And he called his actions in the past unacceptable. He said that they're going to hold him to the Phoenix Suns standard, and it's not going to be acceptable here. We expect him to be a good citizen. We expect this. Right off the bat, they address it. Gregory talks about it head on. And I went, oh, that's something. To address it head on. And then Miles Bridges continued to sit there and be asked very difficult questions that normally you don't get asked because you're protected as a professional.
Right.
athlete. And he sat there in that environment, you're protected. And he sat there and answered these questions. I'm not doing this to tell you if you don't like Miles Bridges. I saw a lot of the social media comments yesterday. I get it. If you're not going to like the guy, you're not going to like the guy. I'm not telling you to. I understand it. But they impressed me yesterday. Not just the Suns, except for one incident I'll talk about here coming up. One thing bothers me. But Miles Bridges impressed me yesterday. Again, if he does something like that again, you're out of town. You're getting out of town, buddy.
Right.
You're on the first plane. I'll take you to the airport. and stuff like that. But then Miles Bridges sits down, and one of his first words out of his mouth, he talks about the situation and what he's gone through and stuff like that. This will be the one just labeled Miles Bridges here. Miles Bridges says this in this press conference.
Be like BG said, it's mixed feelings about me being here. But I take full responsibility, of my actions. I've been to counseling, I've been to therapy. And right now I'm just prioritizing just like BG said, just being better as a man every day, on and off the court, mainly off the court, and just being a great father and earning the trust of this fan base and this community. I can't wait to get started. But yeah,
I mean, he sat down and he just says, I know people are don't like me here.
Right.
And that's amazing. That what a perspective from somebody. You don't see that in press conferences from people that have gotten in trouble in the past.
You usually try to avoid, dodge, do whatever you can to not address the situation.
Well, not just that, but just be like, hey guys, I've changed. I've learned my lesson. He went into detail. I've been to therapy, all of that stuff out there. Then he was asked a question about the fans, like Charlotte and everything, and how the Phoenix fans, there's mixed reactions. They kind of followed up on that at some point during this press conference. Here's the Miles Bridges and what he said specifically about the fan base here, how they're reacting to him, how some are reacting to him on the negative side. He talks about this as well. Here's Miles Bridges on the fans.
Just how the fans embraced me. At first when I first got back, it was a lot of tension.
He's talking about Charlotte,
but as the years went on, and I was doing stuff in the community, and embracing the fans while I was there. I feel like the trust kind of came back, and they were seeing who I was as a person, and I feel like Charlotte fans love me, and I love them as well. And I hope to do the same thing here.
I think, he just won that press conference yesterday. And I get it. If you don't like him for what he did, I understand it. I'm not telling you to change your mind.
Right.
But he did something yesterday that just shows you how he's grown. Because guys that do what he did, and if you don't know, you can look it up. It's terrible. It's terrible. Guys that did what he did generally don't have that attitude. It's more of, yeah, but she did this, she did that, and no, man, he's completely remorseful, at least on the face. We'll see. I was impressed with that yesterday. Just the Suns taking it head on, him taking it head on, talking about it. It was a lot of the press conference, and you got to give the Suns a ton of credit for allowing it to happen in terms of the conversation and the questions, because it would be very easy to go, guys, no questions about this. This is about him playing for the Suns and not allowing those questions, and they didn't do it. I was impressed with the way they handled it. The one thing I'm not impressed with, though, Dale, because he talks about the culture and everything else, Matt Ishbia wasn't there yesterday. That does bother me a little bit. Was he ducking this thing? He's talking about the culture. He's talking about the culture, and this is the one you show up to if you want to talk about the culture.
I don't know about that. Why he's not there, I'm not sure. Maybe he's on vacation.
That's one that you want to talk about culture. That's one you show up on, and
right.
You can elaborate on what Gregory was saying on why they looked at him, why they want him here, and and how he's changed and how you did your investigation. Gregory went into how they investigated, the situation, how he's been since, and things to that. I think he even said at one point that they even looked into how the city of Charlotte reacted to him over, these last year and stuff like that, and things to that. But so I don't know. I get it. I was impressed by it. Like I said, I'm not, me and Miles Bridges aren't going to be best friends because of what he did. I mean, don't get me wrong. But like I said, and I get it. If you don't like him, you're not going to like him. I understand how you feel about that 100%. But at the same time, this guy's going to help your Phoenix Suns team. As people are going to go, yeah, but he's also been punished. It'd be one thing if he got away scot-free. Then we'd be having different conversations. But you heard him. He's going to therapy. He's like he feels like he needed the change of scenery from Charlotte to get out of that environment as well. He talked about that yesterday. I was just impressed with the press conference in terms of how they set it up. They faced it head on. And if you're not going to like it, you're not going to like it. We ain't changing your opinion. We don't mean to. But I, for one, impressed with the way it went down and the way it was handled yesterday, because you just don't see that too often. Dale, then with your segment here, we'll end with the probably the most positive thing of the day. Throw up the NL wildcard standings for me, would you?
Okay.
Look below that line. Where'd the Diamondbacks go? Did they get eliminated from the Major League Baseball yesterday? They're not below that dotted line anymore. They're just sitting right there in that third wild card spot, Dale. 53-49 right now on the season. 8-2 in their last 10 games. If the playoffs started today, they would be in it right now. After that dismantling of the Sacramento Rays yesterday, there at Chase Field. Now they got a schedule now. We'll talk about that when I come back on the other side. But isn't it amazing? I just can't stop thinking about this. Going into the Padres series, they're just all doom and gloom, 500 team. Nobody expects them to do anything. Garbage. Cut Pavin Smith, Zach Gallen to the IL, sweep the Dodgers. We have hope going to the All-Star break. And it hasn't been perfect. Like I said, that first game back was disastrous in the ninth inning. Seawald is a huge question mark going forward. But dear God, you got hope. You got hope, folks. It's an amazing, and dare I say this, they keep this up, hand trophies off to Torey Lovello and the crew, man.
Coach of the year. Steve, I'm facing an emergency. That's why I'm distracted.
That's right. So I figured you were. Get out of here. Everybody else, come on back. I'll get you going until Lou. And then we're going to do an announcement here coming up here. We're going to surprise this gentleman. He's going to come sit on the mic there, Dale. He probably doesn't want to. We'll tell you what. Celebrate somebody around here a little bit. So, Dale, get out of here with whatever your emergency. Come on back, folks. And we're back here. Well, I'm back here. Dale, just so everybody knows, because I know somebody's going to text in, everything's fine with Dale. He does have an emergency, but it has to do around his house. His alarm system won't turn off. And Brooke's trying to get in the house. So that's what he's been trying to deal with. It's not working, so he's on the phone now dealing with it. That's the emergency. So don't nobody start to panic that something's bad or anything to that effect. Ethan on the YouTube chat says, I will make me, he says me, by College Football Monday since I'm doing stuff this weekend. Ethan's got a busy schedule this weekend, apparently, coming up there. It's just all, he just wants me to get it so he can beat me like 700. So what Ethan does is he gives me the bad team, and then he'll take like Ohio State. So we'll get like a 99 ranked team against like a 50 team, and stuff like that. That's how he cheats. Robert says, is that Bronco that Holmberg got from Lifted Trucks? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Ethan says, by the way, Jacoby, he believes is his own agent. He is his own agent. He says, so that's maybe while it's taking too long. See, that's the thing. Yes. You always want a buffer between. And I get it. You don't want to pay somebody to do it and stuff like that. But that's part of the problem. There's no doubt about it. Anytime if you get yourself in a situation where you need an attorney, you hire an attorney. You don't do it by yourself. They just know the system. They know the routines and stuff like that. Whereas you don't. You're at a disadvantage against trained attorneys. Same thing here. All of these NFL people are used to negotiating with agents. They know the routine, etc., and they know things that you just don't know as a player. But that's what Jacoby decided to do. Is that a factor? I believe it is, but we'll have to wait and see as well. Robert says that's a nice ride. Oh yeah, no, I don't know if you've seen a picture. Well, obviously, I've seen the Bronco, so it's a nice looking Bronco, man. It is sweet. I like it a lot. Robert says, could it be the Steelers are rethinking taking a Penn State quarterback? I mean, they still got to sign him. They drafted him. You're not going to draft him and then be like, oh, we made a terrible mistake. We're not going to sign him. And then Robert says, Jake Paul is still having residual effects from the Anthony Joshua fight. Yeah, it's just my favorite time of year. Like, everybody seems to be like those people that they're like, NFL teams are contacting me. First of all, they're not. Well, they might be. A team might be. But it's just to come in to see what you can do. Or get the name recognition or something like that. Sorry, Jake Paul, I'm sure you're an amazing human being. I don't know. There's a reason why he fights old-time boxers and not a guy in his prime of his career. Just leave it at that. Right? He's not stupid. He knows how to set it up for marketing side and things to that stuff like that. Ethan says we should buy the Bronco for the show. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was a nice Bronco. That's all I'm going to say. Ethan, can't afford it. Ethan will have to cut your salary down if we do that. Really quick here, before we do our announcement and bring somebody on. Kobe, I don't care what you say. You better be ready to come sit down in here. We're going to talk to Kobe here for a few minutes as well, really quick. But he's probably panicking over there right now. Today, Cardinals, this is the makeup game for the Diamondbacks. Brendan Pfaadt's on the mound. I think it's 2:30 roughly, 2:25 first pitch today for your Arizona Diamondbacks against the Cardinals in St. Louis. This is that makeup game with Pfaadt getting the start there. Then they go to Washington, the Nationals games for the weekend. 3:45 p.m. our time on Friday, 1:05 on Saturday, 10:35 on Sunday. You got Erod going on Friday. You got Mitch Bratt going on Saturday. And then Sunday, TBA as of right now that I've seen. Here's my question. Where's Cabrera? Why is he not still getting starts and stuff like that? Mitch Bratt has done nothing to not earn another start. Don't get me wrong on that. But why isn't Cabrera on this rotation? So we'll have to see. Obviously, they're waiting for Soroka to come back and get back into this rotation with his injuries and all that fun stuff out there. As well coming up. So, guys, we're going to have a treat for you here as well. He's probably super nervous, does not want to be on camera. We're going to introduce you to the producer extraordinaire of this program for about the last year and a half or so. We're trying to calculate it and everything. Pull the microphone a little close to your face, Kobe, so Ethan's not yelling at me like you used to do. Folks, Kobe. The infamous Kobe
Hello,
over
everybody.
there.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I am kind of nervous. Like, my heart is racing right now.
I know. I was going to tell you, and I was like, I'll just wait and spring it on him so he doesn't overthink it for the time and stuff like that. So, everybody, Kobe, he's been behind the scenes. You guys don't hear his voice. We hear it in our ears and everything.
Nice to meet you guys.
Absolutely. There he is. And first time you guys are meeting him, and at least the last as of right now as well, because Kobe came out here to go to school, graduated – a year ago now?
Yeah.
I
think it was February 25. Okay. Yeah, February 25.
What school did you go to? That was Crass, right?
Yeah, Crass.
What do they classify that school as?
It's like you get like 100% of college credit, basically, but you only go there for 9 months.
Yeah, but it's like a sound school, right?
Yeah, sound engineering school.
They do other things.
They'll teach you how to do like game sound development, broadcasting for like what you do here or TV, and I'm trying to think. There was
it's a trade school is what
basically.
the salary, to do it. So Kobe came out here from North Carolina, became an intern with us here, and then liked it so much that we hired him on after his internship, and he's been producing everything since, and putting everything together. Makes us sound better, makes us look better on the screens. Great ideas here and everything. But Kobe, we got to bring you in because you've decided it's too hot here. You're going to go back home to North Carolina.
Yeah, back on to the East Coast. I enjoyed my time here. It was really fun. I loved it here.
Yeah, so that's good to hear. I paid him to say that, folks. Your payment will come in later as well. But no, I wanted to get you on camera because I know people always ask, and I'm like, no, he's too afraid to come on camera. He was a behind-the-scenes kind of guy and stuff like that. But, man, I mean, I know I'll speak for Dale on this. I want to do it when Dale was on here, but Thursdays are kind of a little, rough with our time frame. And I know Dale feels the same way, man. It was great having you here. Fantastic time. I mean, you had big shoes to fill with Izzy, when he left and went back to home as well and everything. So you had big shoes to fill. You did it. You did a great job, and we appreciate everything you've done for us here, man.
Thank you. I mean, you guys did most of the work. The only thing I did was make sure your volumes and levels are good so everybody can hear back.
Hey, you make it sound like that's
at.
easy. We've had problems with that over the years with other people and stuff like that, coming in here. So very few problems with it. And when we had them, you just kind of handled it, which was nice. So, seriously, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done. Introduce you to the audience, and everything. And, that you can reach out for anything you need from us and everything. And, hey, if you want to come back to Arizona, man, you let me know.
Oh, I'll let you know. I'll either give you like a week's notice, and then like right when I land, I'm like, hey, I'm in town.
You're going to you're going to be like, you're just going to show up with on the door with your suitcase. You're more than welcome to and everything. But most importantly, everybody, that's Kobe there. I don't know. Anything else you want to say?
I wish I cleaned up a little bit. I would have shaved down some.
I was laughing because I saw you before the show, and I was like, oh, he actually wore I'm going to say a decent shirt. What I mean by that is every other room in the studio is cold, so they just have hoodies on.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like that. And today you wore like a regular shirt is what I'm trying to say.
I was contemplating if I was going to bring my jacket in. I was like, if I show up on air and I wear my jacket, I'm like, I might look a little
You came in
crazy.
and adjusted the camera, and I was like, oh, well, today's the day you wore the right shirt. I mean, that's nice. Not that you look bad or nothing, but it is kind of funny when you walk through this the studio, not on air, and just what people are wearing and sheets, and because they're freezing to death while we're in here sweating. The weirdest development on the planet. So, man, I wanted to say thank you on air, of course, and good luck to you. And like I said, you're welcome to come in here. I know you're not leaving till next week. And I told Kobe, I said, hey, if you want to come in and get some money next week, come in here, man. We'll always have you here. And if you're in town, definitely contact. And if you need any advice, anything out there on that in North Carolina, we're out in North Carolina by chance.
Statesville. It's a small town, like kind of 30 minutes away from Charlotte.
Okay, so you're right next to Charlotte. So inland and everything like that. So, let's just refresh everybody here. When you first came on and were an intern with us, we gave you a hard time. This is the real reason I had to let Dale leave here, because you're a giant Eagles fan. And Dale throws batteries at him, folks, as revenge for everything that's happened and everything. So, are you an Eagles fan just because the Panthers weren't around when you were a kid in that area and they came in later? No, they were there when you were there. They've been there for 30 years.
I think, they were there when I was growing up. I kind of liked the Panthers. It was more like the first team I actually saw play was probably the Eagles. I don't know who they were playing against. And then I think it was a following week, we went over to my grandpa's house, and my uncle was watching the game. And and he was an Eagles fan as well. And I was like, oh, so you like the Eagles too? And so we just hit it off. And then every time the game we're playing, I was like, all right, so who's playing? Who you think is going to win, the Eagles or blah, blah, blah. Majority will say the Eagles, but depending on who the team is, we'll be realistic, because some of our fan base, because I've seen a lot of videos saying that, the Eagles are going to go 17-0. I'm like, no, we're not. We're not.
Well, that's always that's what I always joke around on schedule release day. It's the 15-2 day or whatever, where every fan base is like, oh, we're winning all these games. Kind of funny how it goes out there as well. So, Now Ethan says, now I'm producing people for now. Hopefully, if I don't get fired.
Oh, you won't get fired. I don't think you'll get fired.
Ethan knows this about me, man. I'll fire a family member. I don't have a problem doing so if they're not doing their job. Ethan knows this about me.
Ethan, have faith in whatever you're doing back there.
Well, it's funny because, you've done a great job with Ethan. Ethan has no formal training. We're going to go over some other things today, but just Ethan can sit down. He feels comfortable just sitting down, running the shows. You've done a great job, working with him and getting him ready, and other interns that have come through here, with Riley and stuff like that, man. So you fit in great. Robert says, good luck going forward, Kobe. And then Ann says, best of luck on your next adventure.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Ann.
I love when they say that, on your next adventure. You'll start life right after their school.
I'm kind of nervous because, when I first got here and I got to train Ethan, I was like, I trained before, in my previous job.
Yeah.
I worked in a warehouse and I was basically an assistant to the supervisor. Doing that training was kind of easy because I did it for 3 years. Doing training for this, I got so nervous. I was like, man, I hope I'm telling him, explaining things the right way. I tried to explain it how Riley explained it to me, and I was like,
well, because as you know, you can over-explain it at what you guys do back there. For you guys that don't know at home, it's a computer, but there's 1,000 things you can do, and things can go wrong. So you could sit here and be like, and then if this happens, and then they're just sitting there going, wait, what?
Yeah, I didn't want to throw too much information to where you'll forget some of it,
Well, that's why the last couple of weeks, Ethan's been kind of stepping in, running the shows. This week, Ethan's everything, and then we show up on Monday and a monitor's falling off the wall for some reason, so we have to adjust everything and. And it's, Ethan being able to handle that with you there with him and everything, just as a, a testament of how you've gotten him ready to take over and be confident and stuff like that. So utilize that going forward and everything. So do you want to say in sound stuff and everything, or what are you looking for when you go back there?
Right now is probably at least applying to jobs that I would like to go in, because my mom sent me this company that does that sets up for concert, big venues, concerts and whatnot. And I was like, okay, I can do that. I help set up for here, and then I can put that on my resume. So hopefully, if I land that, and then I'll just work my way up to run the soundboard for them for whenever.
We had an intern that hung out with us for about 6 months after he graduated. We hired him on in 6 months, and that's what he did. He actually worked for, I'm not going to say their concert people, but people would come into town and hire people.
Yeah.
And he'd go do that stuff. And he actually caught on with one of them. They were impressed with him and stuff. 8 months later, he was doing gig work. Mm-hmm. Now he travels with them and all that stuff and sets up for shows and things and stuff like that. So, same thing, intern coming over and stuff like that. So it's just getting into it and get going, man, and everything, and getting the life started after college.
Oh yeah.
Not slumming us with us young
another
guys.
Big steps. Oh no, I'm gonna miss being over here.
Well, we can set it up so we can run the shows back there. It's possible.
Oh, okay.
It's all just
if it's possible, I just have to get another computer and probably attach it to my laptop. That's a different setup.
That's how the big TV people do it now. I won't blast the channel, but there's a local news channel that their producers aren't here. They're in Houston or someplace.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And they record. They do everything here, and then it goes there, and then they do all the work there, and then graphics, everything, and just goes out over the air. It's this day and age, cool. Everything's possible, man.
You learn way more, learning more stuff about the industry now.
Yeah, it's an amazing. You just sit there amazed by it, but they also do, when they do that, several of their affiliates are doing that. Mm-hmm. So it's not just one, they
probably got
15,
a whole team
all doing that, going to one central place to run everything and stuff like that. Yeah, no, this business has changed a lot, even in the last couple of years and stuff like that. Ann says it's the HR in me, sorry, meaning the next adventure comment. I just give you a hard time, Ann. Jeez. And then Ann also says, great to have a face with a name. I know, when you're leaving is when you get on there. I tried.
Now everybody can put a face to hearing Kobe.
Yeah, I tried a lot to get him on air, and he was always like, you could just see it in his eyes. He's all,
I was like, no, it's okay. I'm not the star of the show.
He's like, I'm not interested in talking at all and stuff like that. So, but yeah, no, I wanted to bring you on, say thank you for everything on air, and put your face to everybody's name. I know I know everybody enjoys having you doing what you do there. They don't know it, but everything's because of this guy over the last year and a half. So,
Well, thank you for taking me in. I'll say that. Thank you for taking me in.
yeah, no, like I said, you fit in. 90% of this is just fitting in wherever you are. Not causing problems and things to that effect. And you fit in perfectly, and you took over when you need to take over, and fix things as they needed to be fixed. Which I was actually thinking about this like a week ago. Not an introspect to you. We knew this time was coming for a while now. After you graduated, it was just a matter of when.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking about it, and I was like, man. We had some people in here that was just like every day was like stressful because of issues happening, middle of show, something would happen and stuff like that. We had our standard Zoom problems, but that was more of a Zoom issue with sound and stuff like that. But you were able to fix all that. But we've pretty much been stress-free like the last year and a half.
I'm glad I can help.
I was thinking about that the other day, like, man, we don't have the issues we used to have.
That's good.
So just as a little feedback, but hey, use this as a reference. We'll take care of you on that and everything. And when you actually, because North Carolina is not cold this time of year.
Oh no, it's
hot
just
and humid.
it's just hot and humid.
So you're when you getting out of this heat and going that route, going back there, I should say.
Going
next week.
Going back home.
Yeah,
probably the end of next week.
He's all like, "I'm getting out of this heat." Well, you're going someplace hotter, especially inland.
Like I started to get used to it, and then I have a feeling like when I go back home, it's like, oh, it's not as bad. It's kind of cool now.
Yeah, well, the humidity is what you're going to struggle with because we don't, we've been humid here, but it's still a lesser humid than what you deal with back there.
I'm not ready to step outside and I already feel like I'm sticky. Like. July is worse for it, but when it's in August, it just doesn't feel as.
That's the problem. Well, that nice thing is you miss most of the summer, so you'll step into it and it'll feel like it's over quickly.
Oh yeah,
because you haven't been there for 4 months, right? Of it.
I love the fall. The fall in North Carolina, it just looks beautiful and it just feels great.
All right. Are you? I know it's farther away from you, but you're a Duke, North Carolina guy. Which one do you favor?
North Carolina all day, every day.
Gotta get that. Oh, you'll have to be our guy. I'll have to contact you from time to time. You have to give me updates on how the Bill Belichick at Duke situation's happening.
I'll
from in the perspective of inside North Carolina.
I'll try to be all up in it. Because like
that guy is a mess.
I missed out on like a couple of years of college sports. Like when I was in high school, I used to stay all up on the information.
Yeah.
But after graduating, I kind of just fell off.
Life happens. And then you moved out here to go to school, and then it gets even less less exciting from that point. It's harder to follow when you got all that stuff going on, So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kobe, I wanted to get you on and introduce you to everybody. A long time due. I should have forced it before, but I didn't want to make you mad. So now I don't care if you're mad at me or not.
You wouldn't have made me mad. I just would have been like really nervous and getting jittery.
It's funny when I announced, like, "Oh, Kobe, get ready. I don't care." I could like hear shuffling happening over there and everything.
I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'm going on."
I know. Earlier today, I told Ethan, I go, "Hey, just a heads up. This is what I'm going to do." All right, everybody. That's Kobe there. Of course, going back home here to North Carolina as well, and we support you in everything you do. Use this as a resource. For everybody else, come on back. He's hanging out for the rest of the day. He's not just walking out. He's not going to be a Ryan Clark here and just take off. Uncle Lou's coming up next, folks. Come on back. Main event. Lou just said, you get an extra segment out of me. Lou, it's the top of the hour. I just went to break 3 minutes early there. So it's not that much big of a segment. Look at Lou trying to renegotiate his contract right before we go on air right there. I'll do an extra segment.
Well, if I was going to do it, it'd be now because football season's coming up.
That is true.
And I'm starting to get prepared.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's no doubt about it. But Lou's here, of course, as he's getting situated here on the Thursday. Second hour main event is up. And again, I just wanted at the top of the hour here, because we do these in segments for everybody. I just wanted to reiterate, Kobe, I appreciate everything he's done here. He's been a gem to be around here. Sorry we're losing him, but he's kind of like one of my children in terms of that, where we got him through it, did a great job here, and now go back home and explore his life. And I'm going to fight his mom later for to be his parent. Me and her are going to have a conversation. Just kidding. But it's Thursday, Lou, and Lou's in the house right now.
I was going to say, well, way to start out in second place, challenging a guy's mom.
Yeah, and then you're up next.
You're never going to win that
fight that battle right here and everything.
Yeah.
I know somebody's going to be like, oh, I bet you would, Steve. Whatever, guys. It was a joke. Settle down out there. Of course, on Thursdays, Lou joins us. Uncle Lou, you can find him on Gamblou on X, Gamblou.com, Visa Networks. He does shows on there as a contributor. Of course, does other shows throughout time, especially on the big UFC fights. Those of you that follow him knows what he does. First of all, Lou, how you doing today?
Doing great. Happy to be here Thursday. But as much as I am a positive, constant proponent of desert living, these weeks right now in the next 6 weeks or maybe 7 or whatever, it gets humid and stormy, and yeah, it isn't 115 anymore. It's only 106, but there's 38% humidity, and people in the Midwest laugh. 38%. Well, when you're used to none and you throw 38% at you, it's the only gap that I have to kind of work my way through conscientiously. That said, there's plenty of excuse and reason for me to be indoors, because I'm not only preparing for football, I'm trying to catch an hour or two of the Saratoga horse race.
I saw your tweet the other day. That's the first thing I wanted to talk to you about. We'll get to that coming up here. Lou's a big Saratoga racing fan there and follows them and all of that. But first, Lou, let's not forget, this week we have more UFC fun. Last week was in Oklahoma as well. And this week we got coming up Dubai this week, someplace over there in the Middle East.
Abu Dhabi
this week coming up. So we're coming up here. And Lou, introduce yourself, because we get a lot of people from that area of the world that tune into our show and listen to the podcast and watch your segment here of the show, with it being over there in Abu Dhabi. So tell everybody where they can find you, where they can pay attention to you, and all of that fun stuff.
Well, first of all, Steve, the fact that it isn't me, I don't think, that's bringing this chain of people from across the globe. I think it's fighting. I think there's fight fans everywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
The fact that I happen to have a platform that you give me to be able to talk about it is enough for me. However, the secondary is, if in fact these people, you get ratings and you can track that stuff. Mm-hmm. I keep thinking, boy, I want to see that. I always forget to ask, and I don't really need to see it for you to tell me it's enough. I'm flattered by that, and it tells me that there are other really focused fight fans in the world that are betting, they're gambling on the fights. They love to do it, and they want another opinion. So Thank you for all of that. I am a sports handicapper. That back in the day, it was football, because I played football. So I started with that. I always loved the fights. From 6th grade, I was following Ali. So all of that twined together with my upbringing in the Midwest. And so now that everything over the last decade has become legit and legal, I've now converted myself into a sports handicapper with a presence based on my webpage, Gamblou.com. There you can find out everything about me. It's a simple webpage, but the band along the top tells you who I am. You can research what others in my industry say about me. You can see the sports I work, but on the far right of the screen, you'll see the San Xavier mission right now. Riley's highlighting that. And that is the oldest mission in the United States. It's south of us a couple hours, just north of the border. It was erected in the late 1600s. They do really, really good work there. We offer a link for those interested in checking the mission out. We are regular contributors to the mission and invite you to also. Steve gives me that infomercial each week to talk about the mission, and it's greatly appreciated.
Oh, absolutely. They do schooling down there, and everything. It's an active church as well. You go down there, like we stopped coming back from our New Mexico trip around the Sun Bowl there. And they were doing right in the middle of a service. So everybody waits outside till that gets done to go in and see the old artwork and stuff like that. So, but like I said, it's also just good, to give back when you're blessed in what we do here as well, especially at this time with everything going on in the world.
Yeah, I would tell others, if you get there at the right time, you can attend church, and then spill out into the bazaar that is all this unbelievable.
You would say that. I wouldn't say that.
Well, we've done it, and to go to mass and all. Anyway,
I'm just giving it a hard time.
Yeah,
I'm
as an aside, but they're doing it's really cool to have that in Arizona, and there's nothing more indigenous to Arizona than the mission. And I just want to be a small contributor to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for everybody catching us, and now I'm sure I'm not going to say it's all new people, but it is amazing to watch, because then I'm like, man, I've never even heard of this. I'm an American public school educated kid here, and I'm like, I've never even heard of that country, and we got 100 listeners on that in that country. So we appreciate it very much, and of course get the knowledge here that Lou's going to bring to us. But don't forget, Sneak Teep podcast about business.
Oh, yeah, I glaze over it because I don't really want to make too much of this about me. Steve's gracious to
Lou,
do that, but I do want to get back and say thanks to you people who are tuning in from wherever you're tuning in. Again, my email's everywhere, lou@gamblu.com. If I can ever help, if you have a question, or if you disagree with me and you want to tell me to go jump in a lake, that's all good. You can reach out anytime.
Yeah, we have just really quick, because you're talking about the NFL as well. But yeah, well, let me finish the Sneak Teep about business. Are you going to do a podcast this week or publish it online?
No,
again?
I'm not traveling. Okay. I mean, you could even the Sneak Teep this week. It wasn't until Monday afternoon. I don't think because I was traveling, and when I travel, I'm really lucky to have the web page that I can at least get the releases out. Yeah. Publicized.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I enjoyed the website one, because while the red was going on, obviously it's hard to go back and listen to what you have to say and stuff to that effect.
Oh, you just go
I literally just clicked on it and it was loaded up, and I was like, oh, okay, that's what I remember what he said about this guy, especially on last week's fight, because I didn't know a lot of those fighters, so it was kind of interesting to see. So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying I enjoyed that a little bit as well.
What I may do is start once the first fight is off, or the second fight, I may throw my picks up on the web page.
Just publish it up there and stuff. Well, that's the thing, like just during the fight kind of a deal, like you said. But no, so that's coming out. Don't forget about that. But you brought up the NFL, and I saw your post the other day, and then we'll get into Saratoga here. I just want to bring this point up. You always say, right, don't be going overs for the years because of injuries and stuff like that. Now, Panthers reported with the Cardinals yesterday, so first practice for the Panthers is today, Lou. Linebacker Nick Skeleton, who's their main linebacker guy for that Panthers team, lower body injury in practice, got carted off just moments ago, got carted off the field here. He was in tears when he left, which if an NFL player's emotional on an injury and getting carted off, generally, that's not good news. You can go off of that. Now, it's a linebacker, but it's kind of, I'm just using that to the more prevalent point of, man, injuries are going to be coming up here, folks. So, watch those overs and things like that. And obviously, you can talk a little bit more about that.
Well, I talk about it from two different sides of the street.
Yeah.
Because from 1967 to 1993, I was privy enough to be in a huddle. So I believe that even though I'm an old dude, I believe that I understand what it's like to think about when you're in a huddle and how that affects. And so this kid crying as he's getting toted off on a cart means he blew his knee, and he'll be back next year. Probably better with two stronger legs. Now, that is, it's so unfortunate. I feel for the kid and his and his family and the team and everything. But the gambler's like, next man up, number one. And number two is, this is the first of 45 of these we're going to have between now and the start of the season. It's just a fact. I don't want it to happen to the player. As a handicapper, I know it's going to happen to the players. And which players they are, I don't know. I'm not in that speculative nature to try and tell you who it's going to be, but I'll wait and tell you who it is when it happens, because it will happen. And that's why I'm not betting positives right now. I'm not looking for, I have some teams here, 3, 4, 5 of them, and it never happens, popping out at me like, yeah, we're going over this year, baby. And I don't really, I'm always looking for unders. But I'm getting a lot of over, but I'm not going to talk about them, or we're not going to breathe about them until the day before the season, because at that point in time, I know who their starting unit is, if the quarterback's healthy, what the head coach is doing, stuff like that. So I don't want to be surprised. Now, if I have to find advantage, and I think I have and I am, then it would be on the unders for a couple reasons. Number one, most people like to bet the overs. So if you took all the NFL teams' totals and you add the over-under for each, you're going to get a higher number than there are actual games. Why? Because you're paying a tax to take the over to begin with. Doesn't matter the team. Maybe not the Cardinals.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of people say go over Cardinals. I've been seeing a lot because it's 3.
Well,
I've been seeing a lot of people say
it's a low number,
it can only
and
go
somebody
up.
And some people actually study what they're doing and see that there's some things to be bullish about with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I've been reading a lot about.
So your positives, I'll start thinking about that the week before the season, because on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of that NFL week, there's a Wednesday game this year to start us off. I'll be in Vegas to take care of all those positives that I like this team to win the division. I like this team to win this, that, all the positives that I have. Now, right now, I'm only doing negatives because, unfortunately for me, by taking a team and having something happen by way of injury only contributes to my well-being. So there's that. Here's the other thing. For 3 months, there's been nothing to talk about it except the NFL. And so these sports books got the networks, and the networks are getting you whipped up into a frenzy as to how you got to go out and bet. Now, you haven't even had one practice yet. You haven't had the Hall of Fame game yet. Don't be in a hurry. And I can't devote too much of this dialogue on VEASAN because VEASAN's owned by Circa. And they see me as the wet blanket. They're trying to drum up frenzy and sell tickets and help their business. And I'm saying, hey, guys, don't be in a rush to go bet. So take it with a grain of salt. I have made 2 bets so far. They're both unders. They're both season totals. I'll share one today. The other one's still under the pocket for just a little while longer.
Is that because I'm just out of curiosity, is it just because the number could change, or is it just you're just waiting to see something?
It's just I want to wait. I just want to wait a little bit.
The only reason I'm asking is because over under generally doesn't change, right? Very much over the next.
Well,
month
the juice could, and the number
Okay.
could. We've been tracking some that have, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't know how much they would change going into it over the next month. Now, I can see closer to the regular season. You can see it change. I'm talking about. For the next month of 3 weeks of camp.
Yeah, most of them haven't changed. Okay. It's too early, really.
Yeah. That's what I meant by that question. There as well. Robert says and I agree with Robert on this. The vast audience is a credit to Lou. If he could teach an idiot like me to sound somewhat competent about UFC, anyone can benefit. He's not kidding there, Lou.
Well,
Before I met you, I was like, UFC, it's just a bunch of idiots hitting each other.
Oh, I had a guy the other day. I was meeting my a business associate at the what's the name of the
fancy,
at the Coach House,
some really good restaurant
at the Coach House. No, we trade at the Coach House, the coolest place outside of Casey Moore is in Phoenix, to be quiet. Anyway, something happened. Oh, it was the White House fights. It came up. And some dude over here just started going off. If I wanted to watch freaking bums fight, I'd go to the garage. Blah, 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 blah. He kept going. He kept going. I told my buddy Philly, I said, hey, let's move down here. Philly's like, well, why do you really think that? I was like, you stupid son of a bitch.
You're all right.
I mean, I just wanted to move away because I was about ready to go over there and put that guy in a rear naked choke and let him wake up about 10 minutes later.
See, I had that opinion about UFC where I was like, it's just a bunch of, idiots in there. And I had that opinion of it, but I don't just spew it out to anybody,
He was very, and I, you're welcome to your opinion. It's great. I think you have it. I think you have it.
Oh,
really
it's not
wrong.
that opinion. No, because now you've explained.
No, I'm talking to the guy.
Oh,
at
the guy
bar,
there,
not
yeah.
you.
But you've explained the strategies to me. The way you talk about it has led me to do my own research on it and stuff like that. To the point, Lou, where I listen to what you say on Thursdays. I've started going a little bit on my own on a few of my bets. Like I said, I'm just $5 better, So, but I feel comfortable going, hey, I think this guy can do it. Whether I agree with you or not, and then just see what happens, and then you learn from that and go. But it is because of the way you explain it.
Yeah,
You look
I've
at it and
always said
stuff like that.
do your own work, and it doesn't matter how much you bet. Because if you do your own work,
I just tell people because
if you do your own work, eventually you're going to figure out how to get good if you keep betting. Otherwise, you won't be able to keep betting. You're going to lose your money, or you're going to be good.
Yeah. No, I just tell people because I know a lot of our audience. Some of our audience doesn't like gambling. I get that. Some of our audiences, they just assume that I'm out there betting thousands of dollars. No, I have fun with $5 bets.
Here's the other thing.
So.
If you never have to, and I never ask what a person's amount is. It doesn't matter because if you keep winning, the amount's going to take care of itself. I'm just telling you, okay? If every 100 bets you're winning 70 times, I'm telling you, you won't be betting $5 much longer.
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes, the Conor McGregor fight, won a lot of bets on that one and everything. And I was like, ooh, maybe I can bump up to 10. And I was like, nope, go back, stay at 5. You're not doing that. You're not going up there.
If anything, I'd have you bump to 4, and then you know what you say.
Dadgummit,
I should have bet more.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
If you're saying, dadgummit, I should have bet more, you're rolling, baby. So just keep it reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely, and stuff like that. But hey, anything else? Well, anything else you want to say about NFL? I know we're getting closer to it. In the next few weeks, we'll be talking more and more about it. But,
I'd say starting next week because we'll have a game under our belt, won't we?
Next Thursday is it August 6th? 2 weeks.
I'm saying
we're 2 weeks away.
Early August. By then, I think that we can start. You can ask me about a team, and I'll dig in, and we'll surely start with the Cardinals.
Obviously, we'll talk them. Yeah.
So I'll prepare a handful of teams. We'll talk about which ones they are.
But I mean, there's a lot of intriguing teams out there. Like
I would ask people
the Lions.
to see who they want.
Yeah, I mean, just off the top of my head, the Lions with their 4th place team last year. Are they going to be able to rebound with new offensive and defensive coordinators again? How are the teams with new coaching staffs like the Giants and Harbaugh? What's the viewpoint on them?
Of new coordinators.
Yeah, and so there's a lot to talk about and just kind of how to look at them from those perspectives. And those, Patrick Mahomes, even if he starts the beginning of the season, how recovered is he, or how is he going to play? How does that go into his style of play going into the year? So there's a lot. That's just off the top of my head.
Those
sitting
are all
right
really
here.
good questions. Right there.
And then you got Seattle with some of their changes, new offensive coordinator. I expect them to take a big step back offensively. Doesn't mean they're not going to be good, but I expect them to take a step back offensively because their brainstorm of that offense, I believe, is now Raiders head coach. So those are the things. I mean, that's just off the top of my head right there. So lots of things to talk about. We'll be addressing that coming up. But I mean, Lou, I saw your post the other day, and you had 7 screens on it and everything. Saratoga's underway, and I know that's a passion of yours here as well. How's that going this year?
Last weekend, it didn't go so good. It's a passion, and I have my guy there with me, and he's so good, and he's all around him all weekend long because we played Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I really cashed very few tickets, and I didn't alter what I do. I'm trying to hit daily doubles. I'm playing one race into another in a couple different ways, and I was just he was all around it, but he was hitting some tickets and I just wasn't. And sometimes you pay your dues, and I don't look to try and beat horse racing. First of all, you can't, and second of all, it's more a release. I'm just trying to bet, a $36 ticket that can come in and pay me a couple $100 or so. I'm trying to go long that way. And so it just wasn't working until the last two races on Sunday when he switched to Del Mar. I bet Saratoga only. So I'll look at a couple Del Mar races. What do you say? So I did a back wheel with a 4-1, meaning I bet a 4-1 horse 20 to win, and then instead of betting him 20 to place, you bet $2 on every other horse as an exacta in front of your horse. So if your horse runs second and a 99 to 1 beats him, you get paid. You're happy that your horse got beat, and the winner hit. So bang, I cashed that ticket and rolled it then into some other ninth race play. Probably, I don't even remember what it was, but it ended up good, and I recover some of what I lost and walk away feeling good, because this afternoon I'll go back and bang my head against Saratoga, see if I can't try and find a few winners there. But I love Saratoga, and I need a break from the NFL focus, and it breaks it up really good for me.
Now, let me ask you this. How in-depth do you get? Because the thing that
in the horses?
Yeah, I struggle with horse racing because I don't follow it. So, and a horse just shows up and people are like, that horse is going to win. I'm like, well, how do you know that horse is going to win? So do you get into owners? Because I know certain owners have success, certain breeders have success. Do you get into that type of stuff, or what's the strategy here? Or you just listen to the experts talk about it and make your own decisions? Like, how in depth do we go here
over
when we're
the
looking at
course
Saratoga?
of the 20 years that Gamblu, 17 years that Gamblu's been around, my buddy from Omaha and I go to Vegas together, and he's really who's taught me how to read a form. And so I'll get the form because I know how to read it pretty good, not like him. He reads it like a dinner menu. It's still work for me, but I take great umbrage in what I've been taught how to look at the form, and there's nuance there. But I always have Fox. If you're betting Saratoga here in Phoenix, there's Fox Day at the races on during the week. And you got Paul LaDuca, ex-baseball player, kid sharp. Yeah, a horse trainer named Tom, sharp as he can be, and a couple other people, and they're talking about each race as you go. So between what I see on the form, between what I hear from them, and then the market, you look at the odds, you see the morning odds on the horse, and you can see where they move. I can tell you that my biggest play, if I go to Turf Paradise, I can tell you the basis of my bets are going to be I'll take the second favorite in the race. So if there's a 9-5 and a 3-1, I'll take the 3-1 to win, and then I'll bet him in a back wheel, meaning him in second place to all the other horses. You blow $30 to $40 a race. If your guy comes second to a big bomb, it's a great day. You have fun with it. And that's kind of my process.
Yeah, I was just curious because, like I said, I've been to Saratoga, and that was actually the only place I've ever won money when I was just beginner's luck.
You've been to Saratoga?
I've been to Saratoga.
I mean, that's a mecca for a horse racing guy,
I've been
Steve.
to, and I didn't know where I was
You don't know
at.
how lucky you are.
I had no idea where I was. George Steinbrenner was alive. He had a horse racing in it. So I was there the day he was there. I've sat in the dress-up section. And then I've gone in the slummy section where you wear shorts or whatever, And then they have
So you've been there on a couple occasions?
No, same week, just two different times.
Yeah, right. Okay.
We went one time and I was in the slummy section, and I want to go back to that dress up section. So you go buy a nice pair of pants and a nice button down shirt and a hat, and you go up to that top part there.
Yeah, you get to spend $10 a race instead of $5 a race.
It was but it was an experience. But I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't into any of this. Then I just walked up to the window and was like, I want this, and it was a box
sure,
checker or whatever it was.
Box, yeah.
And literally, I didn't even know I won. The guy I was with goes, didn't you bet? And I go, I don't know what I got here. Yeah, and I like $3 turned into like $700 or $1,000, something like that.
Great?
Yeah, I know. And then I did another bet and won a smaller amount, and I went, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, you can't in horses.
Done.
You just can't go in with $5 and turn it into 500, but you can at the horse.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I'm like, oh, what I win? Like $2? Do I get $6 back? Like, who cares?
Yeah, no, here's $700.
Yeah, it was $700 or $1,000. I can't remember what it was, but I was just like, what? And I just remember George Steinbrenner, he had all the security around him, and his horse had security around it. and all of that stuff. And I was just like,
Well,
amazed.
they're in New York. There's a lot of mafiosi up there.
I know this
Gotta
spectacle.
watch your horse's head.
Yeah, the spectacle of it was just an amazing thing. I'd love to go to the Kentucky Derby and stuff, but then I'd sit there like you said, I look at it and I'm just like, man. And I watch the shows you watch and stuff, and you watch. There's experts on the Saratoga website where you can stream it live, and they just talk, and I just stare at them.
You stream Saratoga through their website?
I actually have it on right now.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yes, sir.
I use TVG.
I loaded it up. I loaded it up while you were talking there to see if they'd already, because it's East Coast, so it's a little bit quicker. But that's Lou's passion this time of year, getting ready for the football
What time's
season to
first
start.
race today? 10.
It just went off.
9:15.
Yeah, so it just went off a few minutes ago. Unless it was a replay, I just saw horses running out there. Next one, it looks like there's.
You guys don't mind if I go back with Riley and stuff?
We can load that up.
No,
we can
no.
load that computer up for you, and you can have it on there.
No, unless
throw it
I'm
on that
sitting there
screen.
and concentrating
That's the
on
problem.
it. Even then, sitting there and concentrating on it, my chances are slim. But,
Oh, no, yeah, that was a replay. First race is 1:10 Eastern time.
yeah,
so,
10:10.
Yeah, so 10:10 today as well.
Yeah, perfect.
Coming up on that for race 1 today.
By about the fourth, fifth race, Uncle Lou will jump in.
I also love just reading the horses' names. But they list on their website. That's why I was asking you this, because I was looking at it earlier this week, just kind of paying attention. They have some
Just
experts on their page that tell you with each race kind of who's first, second, third, fourth, what they think. Then they has the owners, the breeders listed. And I would imagine it's kind of like football, right? Like the Patriots are a well-run organization, so you kind of can look at them differently.
Oh no, the trainers tell you a ton.
Yeah,
and the pros at Saratoga, there's two young, pretty blonde. One is Clement, I think it's Alicia Clement, straight blonde-haired gal, pretty. You think she's just a face? Oh no, she's married to a trainer, and she is sharp and gives you great advice. The other one is a young lady named Maggie Wolfendale, and she's married to Tom, this guy that's a trainer, a horse trainer. So they're both in the industry, and her eye is she knows what they're really, really informed young ladies, and they help me. I always look for what their choices are in the horse as much as I do LaDuca and Tom, the husband, and some of these other people. But the crew is good. They give you good. If you don't even have a form and you listen to them and you bet the right way, just say maybe you bet a horse to show each race, meaning come first, second, or third. Safe way, have fun, catch a few tickets. I would tell you that Saratoga webpage or the Fox show, I'm sure it's the same thing.
I'm positive they're tied together.
They don't have two different sets there.
Yeah.
And then there's Jonathan Kinchin.
They don't have the production budget of the big leagues, is what we're saying.
But I'm telling you, it's very well done. It's very well done. As a gambler, I really have come to rely on it.
Well, so that's Lou's passion. This is the time of year I like, because Lou talks so passionate about horse racing, and it's almost like it's just like a fun side thing for you that you get into it and look forward to it.
I have lots of money for the next 5 weeks, and I know I'm going to probably blow it. I did last year. 2 years ago, I had a really good meet, meaning the whole time I made some money. Last year, I'm like, oh, yeah, baby. This is going to be fun, and it didn't go that way. So I'm going to go a little more cautious at the front end here this year and see if we can create some momentum going into those last 2 weeks of August when the meat starts to run dry. So that's the plan.
Yeah, so have a strategy, right? Don't blow it all in the first week. Like
it's a business.
It's like
really.
when I was in college, man. I had a friend that we'd drive to Vegas on a Friday night, and get there like midnight, 1 a.m. He'd be out of money by 4, and you're like, what are you going to do for the rest of the weekend?
Mooch off you.
when you're off, you gamble all your money away, man. Spread that around a little bit, Tiger.
Big dummy.
Hey, we were young and stupid back then, right? So Lou, last week in terms of the fights here, I just want to hit a couple of these fights up that happened in Oklahoma.
You can take as long as you want, because this card this week don't have a lot of really good spots in it.
That's I'm looking at it going, I don't even know what's happening.
We'll get to it when we get to it.
The main card. I'm interested in the main card just only because I recognize those names there. Let's start first with Duplessis and Usman, the main card here as well. Duplessis ended up unanimous decision for him. He was the favorite going into this. I don't know if you learned anything or feel good on him, but I was more curious about Usman with the loss here, taking this to the decision. If how you feel about him moving forward.
I think better of Usman after the fight than I do a DDP. I mean, third round on, DDP was sucking gas. I mean, his output remained, and he won the fight, but he don't get a shot at Strickland right now. Yeah. I don't think
that was going to be my next question. Does he get that
I'm
shot?
I'm not the matchmaker, and I don't get into that. I just don't. That performance showed me very, very little evolution.
Okay.
If anything, I thought more highly of Usman after that fight than I did clearly going in. But if he doesn't have legs, and even in his prime, it wasn't like he was a deft, fluid mover. He was a wrestler. He's never been evasive and been able to use his legs. But now with two bad knees, he's got less, and DDP was able to flush him a couple times and put him on roller skates, but he wouldn't go away. Mm-hmm. Usman showed a lot of toughness and championship medal, I thought.
And then Jared Cannonier against Christian Leroy Duncan is a middleweight bout for these two giants of human beings for a middleweight fight here. Ended up going to a unanimous decision here. The favorite, Leroy Duncan, did get the win here in this fight as well. Of course, Cannonier trains out over there at the MMA lab and everything like that. Your thoughts on, I know you don't, talk bad about the MMA lab too often. I don't expect you to here.
I would.
Your thoughts on Cannonier?
If I could, I wouldn't, but I can't. He's a leader out there, Cannonier. 42 years old, taking on a giant that's younger, bigger, stronger, and more more mixed martial arts prepared today than Jared is, unfortunately. But he still got in there, didn't stop him. He went to decision. We had him plus 3.5 points. One judge made it 29-28. The other two had it all three for Duncan, so we lose. I'm a big boy, but we were close, and we knew Cannonier was going to show up and give his all, and he did. I have tremendous pride in him for that. He's the leader of the big boys of that gym, and he'll continue to lead. It's just unfortunate that he had to draw a monster like that because the other kid's quite capable.
I was like, this is a middleweight fight?
Yeah, he looks light heavy by the and he was every bit of 210 in the fight.
I mean, at least a light heavyweight type of a thing. I mean, it was amazing. It was literally just a stark. That was just my reaction was, man, this should be a bigger fight out there. A couple other MMA lab guys going on there. Delgado got the win over, I believe he was Bashy on that fight, right. Correct? Another local kid?
Yeah, Delgado opens minus 170. Everybody on Bashy, all the wise guys in Vegas, they know this, they know that, they know this and that. The only thing what they don't know is they don't know the kid was going to get his PhD in MMA because Delgado is longer, taller, has a much more UFC experience. Bashy is a world-class wrestler that's learning how to strike and learning how to evade strikes, and he was painted on the feet. Delgado, now, if you look at MMA decisions, some of the people just were taking Bashy by name. Delgado won that fight fair and square and schooled that young kid, and I'm adamant about it because that was a substantial position for us.
Yeah, I mean, I was even impressed from what I was reading about the fight coming up to it. I mean, and I don't know if I should be impressed. I just am based off of what was said about him. But Delgado had a great showing up there. And usually lab guys do. That's the thing I've been learning here is even if they lose a fight, they at least have a good showing. There's no, I'm going to say, dogs that show up and then they just get eliminated in the first 12 seconds. They're very well coached going into these fights and prepared.
Yeah.
And it's something to watch and something that I've definitely noticed, including with Tommy McMillan getting the win over Alberto Montes, another lab guy. Now, McMillan was the favorite going into this. Well, he's from Phoenix, I should say.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I corrected myself there.
He trains with Tim Welsh, and Welsh and the lab are the friendly entities. Welsh is O'Malley, and McMillan's in that camp out in the desert. MMA Lab's a different camp, but like I say, very germane with one another.
Yes, absolutely. And so let me correct that out there and stuff. But Tommy McMillan there, KO in the third round. Late in that round, I think there was a minute or so to go in it, stuff like that. But your impressions of him after this fight.
Yeah, mouthy, loud, obviously the same camp as O'Malley, but hey, that's what Paramount and the UFC want, and from what I'm hearing, we'll see more of them.
I mean, the UFC has to be rather happy with his performance.
Yes, they want people that attract eyeballs and provide violence, and if you can do both of those, you got a quick ascent in the UFC.
Yeah, and then there was one other fight I just had a quick question on. I can't remember what it was now. It's off my head, so I'm trying to stall here as well. But Nickel.
Nickel showed up well. He was a huge underdog against Correa.
Oh, Correa, that's what it was.
Went to decision.
Yeah.
But Nickel knew he knew what his number was, and he went out to prove he was better than they thought. Yeah, he was better than they thought.
I want to say Correa was a 1,300. I think it closed around 12 or 1,300 there right before the fight. You got it to the decision. Super impressed by that kid sticking in there and doing it, and stuff like that. Does this look bad on Correa, or does this look good on Nickel? Is my question. Moving forward,
they're $125ers. Who gives a hoot?
That's the thing. They're flyweights.
Yeah, I mean Nickel shows well because he didn't get ousted right away.
This is my point. Flyweight fights to me are just kind of, guys just moving around, striking each other, kind of.
Well,
a deal.
until you get to the top five, then you got some vicious. You got Kopp, you got Horiguchi, you got Pantoja coming off and you got the champion Van. So those four there, those are worth watching. After that, it's
and then Nickel goes in there and is a huge underdog, and you're still watching him in the third round.
Yeah,
going, wow, this kid's hanging in there. I didn't expect him to win once it went to that point. But that's what kind of impressed me, being that flyweight there as well for him. Going forward.
I apologize.
So, no worries at all. Just trying. What's that sound there? That's a.
It's an old car horn. Auga.
Auga. When we come back, we'll get into this weekend's fights here. Of course, over in Abu Dhabi and everything. We'll take a look at this coming up. And the main event. I know the names. We'll see what else we can figure out here about this fight. So come on back, folks, with Uncle Lou here on Thursday. And we're back here Thursdays with Uncle Lou. We talked Saratoga, had some fun with that. Getting ready for the NFL season, had some fun with that. By the way, an update just on the Panthers linebacker that did go down. Their head coach came out and said right knee injury, further testing to see the severity of it as well. Of course, that's Dave Canales there for the Panthers. So they're trying to determine the severity, but like I said, a player gets carted off and he's in tears. They know their bodies. They know he knows something's severely wrong with that. So we'll have to wait and see. But point being, in terms of this discussion,
it's a shame.
Absolutely, it's the worst thing I hate about football. Get injured in game one. In the regular season, these preseason injuries.
The sport is cruel, and the other thing is why did we take out all the grass fields and all these NFL stadiums?
issue number 2, because it's well,
You'll see that if anything, I'm
Here are the
way
needs.
more pro player than I am anything, and I explained why.
So this weekend, Lou, we go to Abu Dhabi here coming up. Yas West United Arab Emirates, Yas Island / Yas West is what the I guess the city
/ Fight Island
is caused out there as well. 9 a.m. for the main card. So
How about
breakfast, Cheerios, and blood.
Yeah. No, we're going to wake up, watch fights, and then we're going to go to Los Dos for Mexican.
Oh, even better.
And then
I
there's
like that.
more than likely I'd take the over-under at probably 72 minutes for nap after that.
Yeah, for the nap time.
Yes.
On that. It was funny, though. You just reminded me of that when I said Cheerios and blood. During that McGregor fight, I was at this get-together for it. And the number one question I kept hearing repeated was, do they change the mats after every fight? Because, the blood's just gut.
No.
No, they just throw a powder down and
They don't even do that.
it solidifies up and everything.
They just rub it into the canvas.
Yeah, exactly.
And that canvas, you can slip on sweat. I mean,
Those
if
logos.
you're dry, no problem. But if it gets wet, that's why at the White House, if it had rained and gone, had there been water in the cage, that could have been a real issue.
Yeah, and then the fight, and then those logos are slippery on top of it. The big beer bottle or whatever they got in the middle. It's interesting because I always talk about the guy slipping. I'm like, yeah, he's slipping all over the place in there. It's kind of interesting to see. But I'm assuming big cage over here in Abu Dhabi this weekend.
Yep. Big cage, big crowd of fans. What's the other thing that we don't see?
No women.
That's right, baby. They don't jack around in Abu Dhabi. They ain't no women's fights there. They've tried it before, and it just
It's a culture.
work.
To be clear, it's a culture thing over there.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
No. I'm just telling
blatant
everybody.
that you don't see it. I think I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you did, you have to be a little bit more deft a matchmaker and give you and keep it to 135-pound ladies that are going to give you some action. But they don't jack with it there. It's a primarily Muslim area. You want to know who the fighters are that come from that generic area. Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, any of those stands and Muslim fighters will often be fighting someone that has to travel in. In this case of the 13 fights, 7 of them are basically home. And so, and of these 13 fights, 7 of them are lined at minus 300 for the favorite or greater. So there's only 8 fights really competitively lined to try, at least as far as I'm concerned, to make an opinion on. All the numbers guys this week, like a guy named, that's last week's cards. You got me looking at Korea.
Sorry about that.
This week, all these guys like this Tajikistan fighter at 155 pounds early in the card, Aliyev. He's
against Mike Davis.
Yeah, takedown chain wrestler. He's going to be fighting in front of his home crowd. He's got a 2.5 minus 140 to the over. Let's see if that's still that same line.
Of course, my app's doing an update.
Minus
so.
2.5 is minus 200 now. So I can tell you that Aliyev's getting the love and he's getting the money. But my money's on Mike Davis for a couple reasons. Davis looked poor in a recent outing against a tall guy from France, Fares as I am. And it just must have been a bad matchup for him. But he is a brilliant striker. He's tough as nails, and he's got way underestimated wrestling. Provided he can keep this Aliyev from submitting him and dominating him in the first round, if he can navigate this fight to the second round, I think he's just going to play field target from striking on this Aliyev. And I like Mike Davis a good deal here.
Plus 190. Plus 190 right now. Now, he's, U.S. fighter, Mike Davis is. So I'm assuming you're getting out there a few days earlier than you normally would for a fight to get used to it with longer flight, things to that effect. Are you getting there? You're not getting there a week or two earlier, but you could be getting there 5-6 days early now or something, that maybe a week. I don't know. What I'm getting
never
at
assume.
Is, what I'm getting
That's
at.
what I would say. Never.
Okay,
assume.
never assume. All right,
no, never assume.
I know some people go, "I'll just land and fight,"
Well, I would say that if you have the money and you can stay out,
that's the problem.
But most of them, rarely, unless it's short notice, will they come a day or two ahead of time.
Yeah.
They'll come
okay.
3 or 4 days ahead of time. There's no real acclimation other than the time
yeah.
and what the travel does to your body as far as bloating. It's not like they're going to Mexico City and having to fly from around the.
Yeah, but you can adjust the time here while you're training.
But you're still
just training.
flying, and there's still, if you're fighting against somebody that's from the area like Mike Davis is. So I don't know when he got there. My biggest thing will be, I think,
weigh-ins?
Today's Thursday. So Friday morning at 9 is like tonight tonight sometime weigh-ins will be in, and I'll pay a lot of attention to that. I will trust that Mike Davis is going to show up on scale and on point, and if we get, I believe we'll get his best effort, and if we get that, I think I can win.
All right, so there you go, that lightweight bout. The fight card starts off with Cody Gibson against a shielded, a shadow of a guy. So I don't know if that's a fill-in, but that's the guy that's a shadow is a big favorite in that fight to start off the card as well in the minor. Magomed Tuchilov and Brenton Ribeiro here. Russia-Brazil fight, that's light heavyweight.
Minus 670. Next fight.
Yeah, I know. The reason why I'm bringing it up is light heavyweight. And then you go to a lightweight bout here with Ishmael Bonfim. We've seen him fight before against Alex Sola here. Sola is a minus 200 favorite coming up here.
Yeah, and at least we got something to talk about with this fight. Bonfim's the least talented of the two Bonfim brothers, and he's been finished a couple times. Sola is a guy that fought against a guy named Mason Jones and lost, but there's no shame to that. I think that if Bonfim has a shot, it's early, and if Sola can navigate this into the latter rounds, I think he stands a great chance. And Bonfim comes in from Brazil, Sola from France, so they're both fighting the same travel and such. Yeah, I lean to Sola somehow, maybe using him in a parlay, maybe using him via the points, depending what those come out as.
3.5 for Sola. It's minus 3.5, minus 130 right now on DraftKings.
Yeah, it's still a minus number.
Yeah. They're both minus numbers.
Maybe we look at that. Again, he's possibly a parlay piece.
Over under on this fight's 2.5, minus 140 to the under for this fight as well. So they're saying somebody's going to finish somebody in this fight.
That's what the number
That's
indicates.
what they say out there.
That's not what they say. It's what the number indicates.
Exactly. Somebody's saying that for that fight there. Santiago Ponzinibbio, Sam Patterson, England, Argentina fighter, minus 500 to Sam Patterson in this welterweight bout coming up. Lou, if there's anything to be said about these, just chime on in. Dustin Jacoby, Mohamed Saidov. Now, light heavyweight bout here. That's why I'm bringing up some of these. A lot of big boys fighting in this undercard.
8 of 13 fights.
Yeah,
so they planted big boys for the Muslim world because they're trying to export their brand there. They also have contractual obligations to fight there regularly, and so they're giving their fans what they need and what they want.
The possible knockout power, some excitement happening in the ring there.
Once we start seeing some of these 1.5s, Tukalov's a 1.5.
Well, Dustin Jacoby's a 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah, right now. Jacoby is a minus 165 favorite going over under 1.5, minus 180 to the over right now.
Yeah, Saeed Muhammad coming in on short notice, really. Hardly, he's a Russian, and that's, I guess, so he's going to have some wrestling. Don't know a lot about him, but he is 30, and Jacoby's had a full camp here. You got to – I don't know anything about Saeed Muhammad. There's no way for me to really I figure how this fight could go outside of watch it and learn from it because I don't know the other kid.
And then Walter Walker, a Brazilian fighter against Thomas Peterson, a United States fighter here. Walker right now is a 185 favorite, over under 1.5, minus 166 on DraftKings right now to the over. Another heavyweight bout, by the way.
Heavyweight bout. Well, Walter Walker has won every fight in the UFC by heel hook, and he has no intention of trying to win any other way because, quite honestly, I don't think he can. So in this fight, he's going to go right out and attack Peterson, try and ground him, and find a way to get to his leg, period, over and out. Most of the people betting believe that that's exactly what he's going to do. I'm not so sure. Peterson's big. He weighed 264 for his last fight. Walker 251. So he's big. He's got a gut like Uncle Louie. He's low based. He can bang and he can wrestle. And so this might be a live dog situation. Tom Peterson here. We'll just have to see. I think one way or another. I think one way or another, one guy could get the other guy out of there.
Let me ask you this as we wrap up the prelims. On these fights where these guys are traveling a little bit far, like Brazil, United States, you always pay attention to the weigh-ins. Do you pay extra attention to them to see how they have adjusted to the travel over there, the food that they're dealing with, just the whole changes? Because you're not just changing, going from one country to another. You're going culture changes here as well. So everything's going to be a little bit off.
Every weigh-in.
Okay.
And you don't look at it with heavyweights because it don't matter.
Those guys don't care.
Well, I mean, whether he weighs 252 or 257.
Yeah.
I mean, I would notice that if he came in at 260.
Because they come in, they don't have to cut a ton. Yeah. Yeah, that is true on the heavy guys. I didn't even think about that. But, a lot of welterweights in those in this fight as well, including in the main card here. Vaidiev, a Russian fighter, against Saigig, is a Magomedov from Russia.
Yeah, that's, I think this is the.
Oh, it could be. They have it listed as the first main card. They do switch it around on us sometimes.
Well, again, two Russians I don't know anything about, really. Vaidiev lost to Dalby, the Viking. Dalby's 40, so that's a eyebrow raiser. Iza Gakhmayev trains with Chimaev. That's interesting. I don't have much data on either of these guys.
Well, like on DraftKings, they don't have the points on this card.
Right, because they don't know anything. There's no data on these guys.
That's what I was going to ask you. But then he's a 250 favorite. Vaidiev is a 250 favorite there. Rizvan Kuniev and Tyrell Fortune here battling it out in a heavyweight fight. Kuniev's a 305 favorite here on the main card. 340 favorite right now on the main card is Kuniev here in this heavyweight fight.
Yeah, Kuniev's 2 inches taller, 2 years younger, has a little reach advantage. Ty Fortune, though, shouldn't be underestimated. He's got great power, explosion, good wrestling. What I'm afraid of is that this fight's going to be a real slow pace, 2 grizzly bears just pushing on each other the whole time. And so for that reason, 2.5 over -140 looks pretty good to me.
-154 right now.
Yeah.
But that was going to be my question on this fight was the over 2.5 -154 tells me either somebody's running out of gas quickly or both of them are, and then they're just kind of just in there at
high
that
school
point.
slow dance at the prom, baby. That's what you'll watch there. I don't often say that with heavyweights. They want them in there to knock each other out, and if some, I give Fortune a chance in this fight. He could be a live dog.
The next up, then we go down to a lightweight bout here. And these, I apologize, Russian
Rizbeki,
fighters.
the Butcher, is fighting.
Is that what we're calling him?
Will Chelko, who everybody's calling him Billy Pork, and he hates that. He trains. This guy also trains with Chimaev, and what is it? Will Chalko is what he wants his name to be, and everybody's calling him Billy Pork, and he hates that, and it's driving him nuts. Anyway, that's an aside. So you can see that Billy Pork is favored -360. He opened -275. John Pork, they're calling him. Anyway, it should be an interesting fight, but I look for the Pork guy to put the Rizbeki on a stick. Rizbeki, the Butcher, is a Polish fighter, and I haven't seen him fight.
What's the weight class on that?
155.
155 for those
Lightweights.
guys. Isn't that funny, though? You go from heavyweight to the lightweight. That's just going to be a contrast on your eyes there.
It is, but I think in many ways you'll get more action and finishing ability out of the lightweight fight than you will out of the heavyweight fight.
Heavyweight
I
one.
know that's not the design, but I believe that will be the result.
Yeah, and then you got then you go to a welterweight here. Dulatov versus Turman. -900 favorite for Dulatov here in this welterweight fight. Brazil and Turkey, as they like to be known now in the international circles. What's a Turkey fighter? What's their style, out of curiosity?
Who's the Turkey fighter?
Dulatov? That's what
is he?
they have him listed as a
Chechnya.
turkey. Okay,
That's Russia.
they have him listed. They have him listed as a turkey fighter here in the UFC page.
You know, listen,
Okay.
Turman was out of the UFC. He can't stop a sneeze, and he's chinny. And so they bring him back specially for this guy, so this guy can run him over. This will be like having a penny on the train tracks and the train come and run over it when it's done. It's all flat.
By the way, he's minus 1,000 now.
Just a ridiculous
Just to
fight.
tell you there, right? Over under 1.5, minus 298 to the under.
What's it good to go out and give a guy, you get a 3-punch him and knock him out? What does it do for Dulatov? Nothing.
Nothing. Other
fires
than
the crowd up for the next 2 fights.
he works harder in practice while sparring than he will in this fight if it goes the way they expect it to go.
Potentially.
Steve Erceg, who we've seen multiple times fighting from Australia or down in that area he's from. Temirov here from Uzbekistan in this fight. Erceg, basically a pick'em right now in this fight. I've seen Steve Erceg fight before. Didn't leave a lasting impression with me. But this is a pick'em fight, so even battle here in a flyweight.
Erceg has experience. He's 4 inches taller. He's got a 5-inch reach advantage. And Temirov open minus 150. Now it's a pick. Money's come in on Erceg. I think I have to agree with the way that money has flowed. The issue with this fight is it's lined at 2.5.
Yep.
And that 2.5 leans over.
Yep. Minus 180 to the over right now.
Potential decision. And if that's the case, how's Erceg going to get a fair shot against a Muslim in a Muslim country? So that one has me in a conundrum, and I don't know what I'll do with it.
That is true if it gets to that.
You have to think in terms
yeah.
of that. We got to know what the UFC wants and what they're doing here, and so I don't know how many times I really want to step in front of what they want to do. And what they want to do is get a lot of these Muslim fighters to have great outings and get their brand moving further in this region. And that's why I think the one non-Muslim we're taking here this week outside in those kinds of fights is Mike Davis.
Absolutely. And then, by the way, that's the co-main event there. That's going to go off around scheduled for 11:45 a.m. on Saturday. Just to give you a time frame when the main card starts
Pacific,
at 9.
Steve?
That's our time, yeah.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So exactly.
So about
thank you for
12:15 or so PST will be the main event. That's perfect.
Yep. And then
I'll be eating tacos by 1:45.
I know these 9 a.m. fights are so much fun. Like then you get lunch, you eat breakfast watching it, and you get lunch right afterwards. Then we get the main fight here. Again, Ankalaev. I knew I was going to screw that up. Thank you. And Gustav here battling it out. We got a minus 550 light heavyweight favorite in Ankalaev here in this fight. Over under 2.5. Minus 145 to the under. And I apologize. He's a 535 favorite on DraftKings right now as well for this main event card for these two big boys. Russia, Uzbekistan fighters here going into this.
Yeah, Ankalaev's a former champion. He laid an egg against Pereira his last out, and I expect him to come out breathing fire in this one. And Gustav is a short notice replacement 8 days ago, I think, or so. Yeah. Takes the place of Khalil Roundtree. So the Roundtree Ankalaev was going to be interesting. Well, we're not going to get that. So Gustav says, yeah, he'll come in on short notice and fight anybody. On his good day, Gustav is a pretty good striker. He will counter you up, let you go first, and bang you back. He tends to lack defense. He'll take one to give one. And he can also, by about the middle of the second round, start to really slow. None of those are good recipes against Ankalaev here. I look for Gustav to put up a competitive first round. I look for this fight to hit the second round, as I've wrote in the webpage. But I don't think it's going to go much further than that. Ankalaev is really focused on creating momentum to try and get back to Pereira, and the best thing he can do is decimate Gustav. And I think after the first round, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, so it's a conditioning thing. Because, I mean, in your blog, you did put Guskov is a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. For a big guy, that seems terrifying in my eyes, right?
Yeah, except that Ankalaev is a master of sport in Sambo.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Sambo's a sophisticated wrestling, and I've always been taught that world-class wrestling is kryptonite to BJJ. So that makes you even like Ankalaev more.
Okay, perfect. And that's the thing. I remember Ankalaev's last fight. I couldn't remember who it was, but it was not good. So I was taking that kind of bias into this on seeing, and then you see the odds and everything to that effect.
I don't think
for
that
this
was
main one. So.
I think he was hurt. I think there was something going on there, and
If I remember right, there was a lot of talk about that.
I think they just didn't say anything. They just took their loss, and now he's back. And I look for him to bounce.
Yeah, and then like you said, especially, do you worry about short? And not necessarily in this fight, because we know that minus whatever 535 or whatever it was to Ankalaev, but if a short fighter goes in there,
a short
notice fighter, would you be more concerned about him as a heavyweight or a light heavyweight being in shape more so than a light heavyweight, or they're just professionals and they're always ready to go?
No, I look at the opposing fighter to know do I know this guy, and is he in the gym all the time? Because we know that.
Yeah.
And Gusov's in the gym all the time. He wasn't preparing for a fight.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But he's not that far away.
But that's what let me rephrase that. They're in the gym all the time. But like they might not be doing cardio all the time. They might be lifting and sparring and doing that stuff.
The pros,
stuff.
The pros know they could get the call at any time, and if they know they're going to accept it, they want to be ready.
Yeah, because I could see a heavyweight guy sparring, working out, putting the weights on, so they're in shape. But but they're not going to be able to go a 3 or 4 round fight because they haven't been running.
Well, they will.
That stuff,
Who knows? They won't. We see it all the time where guys come in, and maybe not 5, but we saw Dan Ige fight Diego Lopez 3-4 years ago on 3-4 hours. No, they shipped him from Vegas, passed him, got him in there, and he made 5 rounds. So it's all all on the fighter. But I will say this: just because it's a short notice fight for the guy taking the fight on short notice, it's a short notice fight for the guy who was preparing for another guy for 6 weeks, and now
especially when the style changes.
There's reaction on both. It really affects both fighters.
Is Roundtree a different fighter than Gustav is?
Yeah, he's a more capable, competent fighter with better defense and feet.
But
it would have been a bigger test.
Okay, so that's what I'm wondering, because I could understand if you're get a short fighter and you're training for a wrestler, and all of a sudden you get a great striker in there, and you're like, I've been training to go up against a striker. So that for the short notice guy on the other side.
Those comments are dead on, baby. Right. I'm proud as I can be. You're dead right. If I've been training against a wrestler for 6 weeks and throw a long, tall, skinny striker at me, that ain't good.
You're not prepared for it. There's no way you could get prepared for it. So I don't know. It's a thing that just hit me.
Ankalaev would have been minus 200, 230 against Roundtree, so he wouldn't have been double. So that's how you measure.
That tells you right there exactly. So and that just meant that as more general stuff going forward for those fill-in fights and everything. So early morning fight card on Saturday. Weigh-ins are tonight sometime.
I believe I just substantiated that with my friend John Morgan, and so I'll find out. So who's covering if it normally
that's
now,
what I was going to ask you.
There's no TV on it. I can't stream it even. So I have to watch the web, like the MMA Junkie, and they announce it as they go. Who made? So I still track what time they weigh in, and then I'll see the pictures later.
And then About Business podcast tomorrow morning as usual.
It would be tomorrow morning. That's correct. Perfect. Tomorrow's Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah. So we have I have
as far as I know,
early morning activity, but I would say by about 10, 11 Pacific.
And I always try to retweet that out on the main event page as well. So if you don't follow Gambler or you miss his, I always try to retweet it out for you guys so you can see that as well. So, hey, folks, UFC fighting this weekend. NFL's here. Got a first injury this morning as well, and all that fun stuff. Here we wrap up the show.
That's the only one.
Right. We're of course tomorrow, last Friday off here for the summer. Next week we start our 5 days again here coming up. So we'll have tomorrow off. We'll be back on Monday morning. For Lou, as always, thank you. And the last time, Kobe. Appreciate everything you've done, buddy.
Kobe.
And good luck to you. And we'll stay in touch, of course. And everybody else, we'll see you Monday morning, 8 a.m., here on the main event.